This is Michael from Cell Life, coming to you from the only active prison cell in the free world. We are out in Austin right now at the TPAA event, the demonstration of the mock cell, showing the heat that the prisoners go through inside of the prisons, that they just been cooking and just, just going through the heat and not being able to get out of it. I want to share, we're going to have Amit come on with TPAA, Texas Prisons Air Conditioning Advocates. And talk about her particular movement right here. Go ahead, Amit.
Well, hi, I'm Amit Dominic. I'm with Texas Prisons Air Conditioning Advocates, or we're better known as TPAA. A big shout out to Michael for coming out here and working this event with us. We've got a number of organizations that have come together to just get the word out. So I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of tour of what we've got going on. We've got our exhibit here, which talks about some of the facts that can also be found in this UT Austin report on the heat that the inmates suffer. We've got, you notice, the pigs get air conditioning, but the inmates don't. So this is an average hot summer day in Texas. I think the temperature is well over 100 degrees. And I think we're going to take a walk into the prison cell so you guys can see what it's like in the prison cell. The goal of this is to bring awareness. We want to let people know that these are the conditions that they're suffering through within the Texas prisons. So what we've done is we've developed this mock cell here. We can walk on in here. Just to give you their prison experience, I love doing this. So you can see when I stretch my hands out, I can almost touch the walls. We know in some of the Texas prisons, you actually can touch the walls. They're given a cot with 2 blankets, a little something to put their materials in. We've got our toilet sink combo, and this is what that looks like. Notice our thermometer is reading over 120 degrees right now, folks. Inside the prison cell, it's over 120 degrees. Now this is a mock cell. This is made of wood, but a prison cell is made of concrete and metal. That's the same thing that we use when we build ovens. So literally people are baking in this condition, and what we've been seeing as people come through, some people can't even stay in here for more than 5 minutes. But imagine if you had to sleep in these conditions. We've had people come through and they're breathing hard after they come out of the cell because it's so hot in here. But the folks on the inside, our incarcerated loved ones, are experiencing this heat all day long. And I don't know about the rest of you, but if my AC goes out, I'm getting that fixed quick, fast, in a hurry. And in Texas, we don't only have heat, we have the humidity. Today's a kind of decent day so far as humidity goes. But we get incredible humidity indexes. And what we're trying to communicate to people is we need you to raise your voices. We need you to talk to your senators. We need you to talk to your representatives and say that this is not acceptable. I mean, we can't let kids stay in here too long because a parent would go to prison. Basically, if they left their kids like this, they're going to prison. Some situations, if they're leaving their dog in a car with these temperatures, the temperatures you saw on this thermometer, they're going to prison for this. Why in the world are we doing this to human beings? And why are we as a community allowing this to continue? Google search on the Texas prisons. This is the issue that comes up more than anything. We've been aware of this for over 100 years, and we keep doing this to people, and it's just simply not acceptable. So we're asking for people to reach outside to their communities and tell them this is what's going on. We've talked to people, and they've said, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know it was that hot in the Texas prisons." What? The Texas prisons don't have air conditioning. We've talked to our officials, our city officials, and they've said, "Oh, there's no AC in the prisons? Excuse me, you guys are the ones that put the bill on this, and you're allowing this to continue?" Imagine if you're a veteran and you have come off of war situations and you have PTSD and you're suffering in these kind of conditions. We have a large group of veterans that are incarcerated that these type of conditions are exaggerating their PTSD. So we're going to walk on outside.
Yeah, because I'm already feeling...
We've been in here less than 5 minutes. Less than 5 minutes.
I mean, I can feel my heart like racing and a lot of different things going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just that hot. And we can walk out here. We got a mural going on. We had some volunteers that painted the mural. Just to give you an example of what they're going through, they're sweating. We hear things from inmates like, I'm wetting down the floor at night so I can just cool off. I can't sleep during the night.
I love the color of the skin.
Yeah,
the redness of the heat.
I love the color of the skin. It shows all the different colors. I don't know how, that's just how I see it.
That's a very good artist.
Yeah.
It shows all the different people,
Yeah.
really, through the color of the skin.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of people, all different types.
It affects everybody.
It affects everybody.
No one is
Yeah.
is immune from it. So
Now, and another thing I want to bring out, we have masks on because of COVID. There's an issue of social distancing. I showed you how tight that cell is. What happens when there's a bunk bed in there? Because in some of the cells is a bunk bed. How are they social distancing? They can't. What happens when you're in a different situation in the prisons and you're sharing a dorm with over 50 to 100 different people? You can't social distance. And what happens if you've got to wear this mask all day long? What happens when you have to work out in the field wearing this mask in the Texas heat and there's no relief from this? So we're just trying to get the word out. We're trying to encourage people to communicate and say that this is not okay. This is not okay as a community that we treat human beings this way. That's what TPA is trying to communicate.
hell yeah, that's great. That's great. Well, we're definitely in cahoots with you. We want to do all the demonstrations, anything that y'all want to get involved with. Cell Life wants to be a part of it. We're in this fight to the end. So we really appreciate y'all putting on this event, and we appreciate you letting us be a part of it.
Well, thank you. Thanks for coming out. We've got a number of great volunteers that helped us out. We've got Martha Torres out of San Antonio with Ladies of
Hey, Martha.
Of Love.
You got love right there, LOVE.
Grassroots Leadership has been nice enough to let us use their property.
That's right.
So
Thank you, Grassroots Leadership. Thank you.
Yeah, we've got a number of Jorge Renard from Latino Justice helped us to get this property and loaded up our box in his truck. And so we're organizations that are working together that are trying to get this word out, because if you do anything with the prisons in Texas, you're going to get letters from the individuals incarcerated telling you about these unbearable conditions. Everybody really needs to pull together and get this
temperature, right?
The what?
We're taking temperature.
Yeah, we're following all our COVID protocols. We're taking temperatures. We're doing some screening over here.
We're getting about 4 or 5 degrees for every 2 minutes.
Right.
Or we would sit in there for 2 minutes and our temperature would be raised by 4 to 5 degrees. So just think of an all day, 12-hour day inside of there with those conditions.
Yeah.
Just constant. I mean, it's unreal.
It's unbearable. It's hard enough even for us, for volunteers, to stay in there and do the filming.
Sure.
I couldn't imagine sleeping in these conditions. And one of the stories I mentioned earlier, that one of the formerly incarcerated individuals told me that just was really meaningful to me. She talked about being in a bunk situation and she was sleeping and she's in the middle of her dream. She feels like it's raining within the prison, but it can't be raining in the prison. She looks up and she realizes that it's her bunkmate's hand over
dripping.
That's just dripping with sweat.
Wow.
We hear from inmates that talk about wetting down the floors just so they can get some kind of relief. That all they can do is sleep because they can't really move around too much because of the heat. Suicide rates increase during these conditions. And I've got to say something about not just the inmates, because I have to talk about the officers a little bit. Last time we did an event like this, we had some really brave officers who came out and shared their story and the heavy equipment that they have to wear. The fans blowing, there's large industrial fans that blow that an officer can't hear what's going on. So if another inmate cries out for various situations, they can't hear what's going on because of those large fans. And they walk around with just a bottle of water and heavy vest and those kinds of things. And so right now TVC is lacking by about 5,000 or 6,000 officers. So they can't even really manage getting people to the respite areas and things like that. And I want to walk you over to the water situation. You know, because we hear a lot about inmates can go to respite whenever they want. They can take showers whenever they want. That's simply not true. They don't have the staff to manage that. So that's just not, it's just not physically possible. But usually there's a bucket that has water and ice, and a lot of times we get reports from inmates that have things like this in it. You know, they get the cup about this big that they can scoop. Sometimes in a dorm situation, you're talking about at least 50 people who are scooping this water out, and with all kinds of bugs. And we know COVID is a big issue. You know, so they're all scooping their own individual cups out with these kinds of situations. So I just want to mention things like that. TPAA, if you'd like to join us in our efforts, you can join us on Facebook. We have a lot of information in our files section. One of our main goals is just to encourage people to advocate. We want to give you the tools that you can go out there and you can advocate and make your voices heard, because we can't do this by ourselves. So that's what we're asking people to do.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Amit, Dominique. We appreciate you putting on the event, and we're excited about going to future events with y'all and doing different things. We're going to go ahead and sign off. We're getting close to shutting it down here, y'all. I just want to thank everybody for coming out and volunteering with us, and I want to thank all the people that came out and experienced the cell and went through it. We had some kids come through. It was really cool. 3 little girls came through and went through the cell with their mother. It was really cool. So, we've done some teaching, we've done some learning, and we're continuing to just go forward. So we love y'all. We'll see y'all tonight at 9 p.m. at Wine at 9.
Thanks, guys.
Cell Live, Michael Saw. There's Jorge right there, y'all. Hold on. Let me turn around. There's my boy Jorge right there. All right. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Cell Live, y'all.